Hello ladies, thank you again for joining me. Today, Bezrat Hashem, we're going to learn about Parshas Emor. And Parshas Emor focuses on recreating yourself, reaching beyond yourself. The ideas are taken from the Young Rice family, from the book Torah for Your Table. Sometimes we have preconceptions of ourselves. We have ideas about what we can accomplish, and we question ourselves, can we really accomplish more? What am I required to do? We ask ourselves. Can I really do more? What is my potential? In the opening verse of the Parsha, God instructs Moses, and I quote, "Say to the Kohanim," and in the very same verse it says, "Say to them." There is no redundancy in the Torah. So why are we taught? Why do we learn that there is a redundancy? What is the purpose? There are two meanings that the Young Rice family teaches us. The first meaning is the Torah is teaching us that once Moses taught the Kohanim the special commandments that only they were to perform, God tells Moses to repeat the other mitzvahs to them. Why? The reason is when we do a mitzvah, we bring it up to a heightened spiritual state. Through the performance of mitzvot, not only is the person simply performing a mitzvah. In other words, because of one's new heightened spiritual state, now the mitzvah is on a totally different level, is on a higher level. This teaches us that mitzvot have the power to recreate us, have the power to change us. Another reason why the word say is said twice is the commandment is given to the Kohanim specifically when the Torah is discussing contact with the dead. Why? We learn a very special lesson. The lesson is adults must instruct the young. Adults must teach the Torah even when chas v'shalom they are in a painful situation of losing someone, of grieving for someone close to them. Sometimes chas v'shalom, when losing someone, a person gets depressed, a person loses oneself, God forbid, and a person doesn't know where to turn, and the person forgets that little eyes are still watching them. Our little children are still watching us. Our big children are still watching us. Whether we like it or not, our children mirror our behavior. Whether we like it or not, we are their example. Sometimes you have children who already grew up and they thought they would never mirror their parents. They thought they never would. But life shows that they do. Unless, of course, they take steps to change. Sincere steps to change. The Torah teaches us that even while experiencing pain and suffering, we must never abandon our responsibility, our beautiful responsibility that HaKadosh Baruch Hu entrusts us with, to teach the Torah to our children, not to forget them, not to get depressed over our grieving situation, to still understand that we have this tremendous responsibility to teach our children Torah. Our Torah takes precedence over our current situation. I also want to share with you a beautiful insight given by Rav Nisim Yegin of blessed memory. He gives us a beautiful mashal about seeking to do mitzvot like silver. So what do you mean, seeking to do mitzvot like silver? Are mitzvot really like silver? Now let's understand what is silver. Silver, as we know, is very expensive. It's very, very expensive, and people seek to buy silver as a collectible, as an item to have, just to keep. However, we know that it's very expensive, and it's very difficult and tedious to take care of it, to keep it beautiful and shining. We know nowadays that we have imitations of silver. silver that looks exactly like the real thing. It's a lot cheaper, and guess what? It's a lot easier to take care of as well. However, we seek the real silver. Why do we seek the real silver? Because we know it's not only beautiful on the outside, it's also the real thing on the inside. We know it's priceless. We know its worth, its true worth. There are so many imitations of the silver, but we know that this is the real thing. In the same way, Rav Yegan beautifully teaches us, is a mitzvah. A mitzvah has the power to recreate us. Even though we may be doing the same mitzvah we've done so many times, now when I take it on a different level, now when I recreate myself, I reach beyond myself. I take the mitzvah with me on a different level, on a heightened spiritual level. I change and I ascend to a higher spiritual level. At the same time, the mitzvah also has come with me to that heightened spiritual level. It's different. We can relate to this, but of course, by, let's say, baking challah. We know that we're taught as women to make challah, in a good mood, even while cooking, to cook in a good mood. Challah comes out. Challah may come out differently all the time, depending on our moods, depending on our prayers. It's just a little example of the many mitzvot we do as women. When we bake challah, what is our current state? What is our current attitude? How is my emotions being affected by making the challah? What emotions am I putting into the challah? Excuse me. So, B'ezrat Hashem, I want to end with a bracha. May we be successful in recreating ourselves by reaching beyond what we can do. Leah Abramov, Being and Becoming. Thank you for joining me.